Hello friends! Today we're going to make a density tower. So do you remember when we did our egg experiment and we put the egg in plain water? The egg was heavier than the water, so the egg sunk. But then we put the egg in salt water, and because we had added salt to the water, it made the water heavier, and so the water was heavier than the egg, and so the egg floated on top. Well, today we're going to use a whole bunch of different liquids, and they all have different densities. So some of them are heavier than others, and we're going to make a tower. Okay, so we're going to need your bottle that I sent home with you in your box, and then I'm using a funnel. You don't have to use a funnel. You might be really good at pouring or squeezing. Some of these will work just fine. And all right, so let's start with water, because that's what we're familiar with. Because I'm also going to use hand sanitizer, I don't know how that's going to turn out. I've never used it before. And my corn syrup is pretty close to the same color as water. I'm going to color my water green, so it will look different. We'll be able to see that water. So I've got water. I'm going to add a little bit of food coloring to it so it's nice and green and we'll be able to see it. So let's put some water in here first. Okay, then as we add the other liquids, we'll be able to tell if they are lighter or heavier than water. Let's see. What should we do first? Should we do some oil? Let's put some oil in here. We already know oil and water do not mix. Do you remember which one goes on top? So the oil sits on top of the water. Yeah, we give it a minute. Okay, let's see. What about honey? How do you think honey will? Do you think it's heavier than the water or lighter? Find out. What did the honey do? Oh, look, it sunk to the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna try some syrup. Maple syrup. Let's see. Can you tell? Okay, so we've got the syrup is a little bit lighter than the honey. The honey is a little bit heavier. You know what? I think I'm gonna grab this. Maybe this can help you see. We'll put this right here. Does that help you see the colors better? All right. Let's try olive oil. Let's add some of that. Olive oil and vegetable oil, which one's heavier? I think I need a little bit more honey in there. I can't see it very good. Probably shouldn't have put the honey in the funnel. It's going to take a minute for that honey to run through that funnel. You see it? Oh, there we go. Now it's floating down there. It's sinking down there to the bottom, I mean, not floating. Okay. Let's put in a little bit more maple syrup. I like to watch how it drops right down through the other layers. It drops through the oil, through the water, and you can see the maple syrup goes next. And then the honey sits right there on the bottom. Okay, let's add some corn syrup. Where do you think the corn syrup is going to end up? All right, corn syrup. Is it heavier than the water or lighter? Where's it going? It's going through the oil, through the water. Oh, there we go. This corn syrup, is it sitting on top of the maple syrup? And then the honey? Okay, last one. We'll wait for that all to fall through. Let's put some dish soap in there, see where it goes. Go around this way. You see where that is? It sits right here in between the oil and the water, and now it's starting to help the oil and water mix up. Isn't that fascinating? Okay, now I'm curious. Got a paper clip and a bead, a plastic bead. Where does that go? Is it heavier? It's heavier than the oil. Is it heavier than the water? Oh, yep, it's heavier than the water. Is it heavier than the corn syrup? Nope. All right, what about this gem? Where will that end up? Got a paper clip. Oh, the paper clip is heavier than the water and the corn syrup. It's going to end up all the way down at the bottom of the honey. I can't see. The gem I dropped in, where did that end up? Okay, and last I'm going to put this rock in. We'll see. Oh, it's the heaviest by far. It went all the way to the bottom. Okay, there's our tower. Can't wait to see yours. What liquids will you use? I didn't have any rubbing alcohol, but if you have some, you should try. Oh, I forgot hand sanitizer. Should we see? I think we used all of our other liquids. Let's see, hand sanitizer, where that goes. Is it heavier than water? It's heavier than oil. Sure. I think. Oh, it's kind of floating up there. I think the hand sanitizer is the lightest. It's floating on the top, and then the oil, and we've got the water, and then the soap is right here at the bottom of the water. We've got maple syrup, corn syrup, and honey.